Okay. We are in chat. Another Winter Bash 3 League match. We are here on the S tier. We have David M182 in blue playing as, wouldn't you know it, the French. And HOMS SENPAI in red, also in chat, playing as the Rus. We are on Golden Pit. There's gold veins in the middle. There is a sacred site in the middle. And two on each side. Let's see how this goes. HOMS SENPAI, well, we don't know. Based on AOE4 world rankings, probably the favorite here, but we have yet to see him play. Already taken out those deer. Let's see if we switch that POV. Should be able to see plus 10 gold per deer killed. That will also increase the hunting cabin's efficiency. This is a more standard Roofs play. Last week, I think, Scatterbrain versus Clop, we saw some very unusual Roofs fishing, or maybe that's just how they're played on fishing maps. This is definitely more what we might expect to see. Taking a sheep underneath the hunting cabin there. And David on his main civ. We know and love the David French Knights. Going for some more standard plays with 3 on gold and 7 on food to start with. Switch that over to the villager count. Looks like Beastie I'm getting these people mixed up. My bad. Looks like HOMS SENPAI is gonna be able to get a lot of the deer here. And some wolves, I think, too. Should be quite a lot of gold. 308 gold. So far, I think you start with 100. Who knows? 25 per minute on this hunting cabin right now. Maximum of 300 gold prior to earning any bounty bonuses. Okay. Yeah, he's actually gonna go for the wolves here too. Looks like is attack moving, yeah, onto all these wolves. It is more for a wolf code 25, so worth doing. As scouts just regenerate anyways. David going for the School of Cavalry at 2 minutes 49 seconds. Oh yeah, you have to leave the caster mode to see the bounty. They still haven't updated that. We just have to kind of infer. And if you leave the caster mode, you can see the duration of the game. So we don't want to spoil ourselves. We'll just work with a little bit less information. It was 3 scout opening for red, 2 scout opening for blue. One strength of the Rus opening is that it forces your player to play in a different way than they otherwise might, just by nature of what civ you picked, right? They have to try and go out there and deny some of that bounty from you if possible. Not sure how much of that David was able to do. It looked very efficient from red. All those deer packs going down. Kremlin from HOMS SENPAI on the back wood line and on the gold too. Kremlin will fire arrows. It's not super strong, but it does have quite a long range. We get a radius marker on the Kremlin? Guess not. Okay. And you can also, sorry for clicking on that so many times, levy militia, which costs food to generate units, which will die after a certain amount of time. 65 seconds. Can be called every 1.3 minutes. So we're just working through this early game. Okay, it always snaps to like a female villager if I do Fog of War. Looks like HOMS SENPAI is just keeping an eye on his enemy, sees the School of Cavalry, and sees the first knight coming out already. Second knight, no, first knight and a scout. Let's see what David can get done with this. Very powerful, very optimized Night Rush. But you know what? The Rus are the only other civ that can make knights in the feudal age, and we have some out now. With the scouts, might be a little hard for David to contest anything here. He's just going to be looking for damage and not going to find too much. The only real exposed area for red is on this stone mine. Doesn't even need to take gold yet because of the bounty that he got. And looks like HOMS knows that and is keeping his army around the stone, trying to deter any attacks. David gonna want to try to keep these knights alive as long as possible, take as little damage as he can until getting the where is it? Chivalry upgrade, where knights regenerate health out of combat. There's the Kremlin. Looks like Blue did not know about that before, but he sees it now. He's gonna actually get a villager pickoff here. Those knights are so strong, man. Oh, the villager escapes. The villager escapes into the Kremlin. Yoop! Just gets right back in there, and that knight is taking a lot of damage from the arrow fire. Nice save there from red. Looks like David now moving over to the stone, switching off of wood for the time being. Probably has the gather point set there onto that lumber. And is going to just be sticking with... Okay, now he's making more. Okay. The instant I click off of it. Gonna go for some more knights. This probably means multiple town centers incoming. Maybe just one. We'll see if he pulls villagers off of the stone once he has enough to make one town center. I need another drink. Here's a little engagement maybe. The triple scouts coming in handy for vision. This weak knight has got to get back home. Would lose to the early knight if they fought, especially with a little bit of scout chip damage. It looks like David going to be able to pull that back for now. Has not gone for chivalry yet. I think it's been made more expensive in the last year or so. So not quite what it once was, maybe. French Knight's still pretty insane. So far, this player is able to fend each other off from doing anything too crazy. One scout goes down for red. Second town center is here for red, though. Right on these deer carcasses. Pretty beautiful spot. That's why he was mining all of that stone earlier that we were just talking about without saying why they were doing it. And David now is going to pull all of his villagers off of that stone. Has enough for a second town center and a tower or two. And is going to move forward for the walls across the edges. This is an interesting map because you don't really think I'm going to wall across the entire map very often in these age games, but Golden Pit, more often than not, you'll see walls across the top side, the middle, the other side. Big engagement here, by the way. Walling strategies aside. Scout has gone down for blue. Looks like the red knights get a charge off on one on the weak royal knight there. And David just going to be running his units around. And that turnaround there is going to cost him some big hits. Okay, early knights get their lancers out again. Maybe not. Lances. We have a wooden fortress for red. Gonna wall this in with some quick walls. Try and block blue out from getting too far away. And the knight production for red is actually enough to put a damper in any royal French knight plays for the time being. We have 5, 7 with what's in queue. Early Rus Knights versus the 3 French Knights now. And I think another one is going to go down. I guess running with Knights... What's the movement speed here? Since the French Knights are chasing, that means they get a charge speed boost, which is just enough to let them catch up and get their lance attack in. So, having to run is not working out too well for blue. Those lances do a lot of damage. A blacksmith now for red, and 7, soon to be 10 early knights. Try to keep an eye on when these players decide to age up. Nobody really planning on that for now. Lots of gold in the bank for David, though. And he did get this wall down, at least as far as his enemy knows. So that's just going to be siege down. It's just a little bit of a roadblock. Best thing it will do is let David know sort of a little closer how many knights he's dealing with from the enemy. As I guess the second town center also came up here on the berries in this little corner here. Berries and some deer. Good spot for that. We do have... Now this is a player who knows how powerful knight raids are, since he does it so often himself. David going for some choice walls on the gold. Trying to block off to the TC here as well. I think players of any level could stand to do this more often. Doesn't cost much in wood, doesn't cost too much in villager time, and it will stop any charge attacks from coming in from that side. But this is unfortunate though. Too many villagers under this town center. Some are gonna have to run back and get picked off on the way. And the town center arrows they're doing something to the Roost Knights, but it's not quite enough. David gonna have to repair over here. Very good multitasking from him. And it's just gonna be a feudal knight war between these two players. I think we're gonna have to switch this over to income per minute in the feudal age. The thing is how long these players are taking to age up. Gold mine is all garrison for the time being. And it's just gonna be a little bit of in and out. Man, not enough garrison spots on this forward TC. You really have to count that when you're playing up against so many knights, I guess. Red is just tasking blue as much actions per minute as he can. Well played here. Just some solid eco behind it. It's currently 1-7 on the villager KD. And he's just gonna come back into these palisade walls. David is gonna try to do like some kind of full wall situation here. This is looking a little less optimal. And we have an attempt at more walls across the map for blue, but yeah, even Royal Knight's gonna have a hard time against this many early Roost Knights. And I think kind of what you have to do here is only keep 10 villagers under this TC at all times, but that's hard to do, and it's not something people really get practice on, right? Either that or build another outpost, because otherwise you're just guaranteed losing vills. Definitely things that rusty players will not have the experience with. Still players just massing, especially red. Oh my gosh. And he's also moving in with the preemptive archers. I don't think David has dropped a barracks. No. But it looks like he's just going to see so many knights, so many early knights. He's going to see the outpost in the middle, the wooden fortress in the middle from red on that gold. And he's going to call the GG. Definitely was far behind there. Oh, ooh. We missed that, just like David did, I think. All right. Some statistics from the last match here. Wait a minute, chat. Hope you weren't watching, because that might have been a little spoilery. Here we have the last match. Rus versus French. Pretty much a solid snowball. Some good engagements from red. A little bit more of an efficient economy. Managed to take out enough French Royal Knights to get the unit lead in the feudal age. And just take the psychological win, at the very least. David tapping out there before any killer blow was dealt. Here we are, game 2 of the HOMS SENPAI versus David M1A2 match in this S League stage situation. We have HOMS SENPAI in the red Chinese in the northwest of the map, and David M1A2 once again playing French in the blue in the southeast. He's able to play French second game in a row because didn't win with them, so you can play a Civ as many times as you want if you don't win. If you win once with a Civ in a best of 3, that means that it is out of the question for the rest of the set, for the rest of the match. So just a little bit of anti-one tricking going on there. You know, we don't want people to be only good at, say, the Holy Roman Empire and just be able to win the entire thing with a lot less investment into the game. So that's the reasoning behind that, I guess. So far, villagers, please, villagers distribution 7-7 on food for these players. And now moving out to the mining camp for blue. Looks like we're gonna have 1 on wood, and now the mining camp as well for red. The Chinese. This is the first time we've seen them this year. Anyone have some vinegar that I can have a sip of? What is going on in there? What's going on in that chat right now? Ham's dropping down the village. First thing has that. Oh, this is that Drongo build right here. You got the mill next to the town center, and the villagers killing and dropping off the sheep into the mill. Imperial official boosting those guys up. Very efficient. This is the choo-choo rush build order from China. Oh, good to see some inside age 4 info in the chat. Just dropping stragglers with 1 villager. That's got to be for a reason, right? We'll have to keep an eye out for why he might need a little bit extra wood in a while. It seems very optimized. Seems like a conscious decision. School of Cavalry coming down for David. Nothing too new planned for David M182 here. He knows if he wants a chance to get a win here, he's going to have to play to his strengths, and those strengths are making French knights and killing villagers with them, of course. So we'll see how any potential Chuka Nu rush or what have you plays into this. As Ham Senpai looking for a little more res, maybe waiting for that tree to be picked up. Okay, there we go, Imperial Academy. I love that, clicking the village around, just waiting for the last couple of resources to trickle in. 4 on gold there for red. We have 3 on gold for blue and 2 on wood. Probably going to see more switched over to that gold if we want to fund the French Knight printer. Imperial Academy, of course, is the Chinese Age 2 landmark that allows any nearby building to generate plus 100% tax gold. And also Imperial officials are allowed to drop off there. So this mill, for example, this is why you do this, by the way. It's efficient to drop the villagers straight onto the mill from where they're produced. And then the Imperial official supervises the mill so that any drop-off... I guess I could switch over so you can see the drop-offs to Red's perspective. Any drop-off is boosted. Not totally sure the percentage, but it's more efficient. And then when stuff gets dropped off here, tax gold is generated. This Imperial official can then be microed to pick up the tax gold, put it to the TC. So it's just really optimized. I love to see it. A lot of thought goes into that. Controversy doing a little trash talk on David here. I would have liked to see this guy play HRE into David Cheese strategy. French player rushing low APM. You just want to see how a good player beats. I'm just kidding. We love David, but Controversy I think has set his sights on that David M1A2 match sometime in the future if he can work his way up. If he can find anybody who's willing to play against him in order to work his way up to being able to challenge an S-tier player. Maybe seeing an HRE play into the French could give him some ideas. This man misspelled Jana. Hey, I don't even know what that is. That's like a League of Legends thing, I think. I don't know. Moderators giving a little bit of a warning in chat. Love to see that. So far, we have wheelbarrow for our Chinese player. So just the most efficient economy you can get right now, without actually doing like specific resource upgrades. But the first French knight is here, and we're gonna have more on the way once David redistributes a little bit, I assume. Gonna be hard to dive under these town centers though, and also the Barbican. Wait. So I saw the Imperial Academy going up, and then I was like, okay, I don't need to pay attention to any more landmarks from Red, because that's the Age 2 landmark. It's gonna be a while before we see another landmark. But of course, the Chinese can build all of their landmarks. It's just pretty expensive, but you do see it most games. So this is the other Chinese Age 2 defensive landmark. I guess the other one's not defensive, but you get my meaning. Little micro on that Imperial official from Red. Love to see it. So this is basically just a slightly weaker keep. Fires hand cannons. This gold is going to be unapproachable for David for now. Basically, the only raiding avenue blue is going to have, I would say, is this lumber camp. But Spear's already coming out for our Chinese player. At Koala, can you ban this? Arduous, you're a mod. You can do it too. Anyways, chat aside. Second town center for David in a very risky / sneaky spot. I would maybe say build it here so you have wood, gold, and you can push the deer in. But can you push deer in this game? Yeah, you totally can. I'm not crazy, right? But this is going to be really efficient for at least taking out the deer as a starting point. And you don't have to worry so much about like night raids, for example, if you're playing against China. So having these resources not immediately adjacent to the TC is not going to be a huge issue. Means more when Koala does it. It's not about moderating. It's about sending a message. David getting a little chipped down on that Royal Knight. Looks like he's actually not going for the same strategy as last game. Only made one knight thus far, is going to start working on an archery range there as well. And HOMS SENPAI actually moving out with his spearmen to the middle of the map. And here come the Chukanu, by the way. Okay, all right. Oh boy. Okay, we got double archery range. The Chukanu printer is online. The rush is underway. Controversy called it. And there is a stream of little guys. Look at these Zujinu. I don't know. You pronounce it however you want. It's a game. It's like Jiganu. They look pretty good, and there's about to be a lot of them. HOMS SENPAI going for a little distraction back here, I would assume. Is going to force a tower from David on these sheep. And on this is actually a huge amount of food in this little screen right here. Is this tower even going to get up now is the question. I guess I feel like two spearmen and a scout you could fight off with these fills, but we don't. Ooh, wait a minute. Wait, we don't even have textiles for our French player right now. Tower does go up, is going to force these units back, but that wasn't even the main thrust of the attack. Chukanu are actually circling around the entire back of Blue's base. There's a forward palisade wall here. Very smart play from Blue. But where are the resources for our French player? All back here as it stands. All the sheep, for whatever reason, have ended up back here by the mill. Gold and stone right under these Juganus, who are now building a battering ram. And also we have chivalry coming in for David. Where's the low health knight? Low health knight is going to be able to heal up eventually here, assuming the pressure doesn't ramp up too much, but this is just a huge amount of units. David going for a much more economic approach this game. Could have been strong, but it's looking a little iffy right now. Just with the sheer number, 17 of these auto bolt semi-crossbow units. Coming out for Han Senpai, we have ranged projectile, balanced projectile. I don't know. What's the first one? Don't know, but he has it. All the relevant upgrades. Could use melee defense, but I think we're more prioritized on picking up, on making as many units as possible. David is going to start picking up reinforcements. This is huge. Because this army, while frightening, if it doesn't get reinforced, it won't become more frightening. And this is a lot of value going down for red, as the stream is now going to have to be diverted. Economically, David is pulling ahead with the French TC extra production speed, which they get, and also the double town center versus the single town center. But the military count, 26 versus 8, I guess we could look at the army value, which is a little bit closer, but not by much. See if David is able to read the situation here, and it also looks like HOMS has definitely... No, I don't think he's scouted this. Let me see. I mean, he's been here before. Oh my gosh, why is it jumping like that? Please. But I don't think that HOMS knows about... Oh, no, he does. No, he does. Okay. That's going to be a very vulnerable spot with one ram and some crossbow. Some Jujinus. At home, though, David is slowly stabilizing. There is a couple more rams coming out now for red. I may have been too generous earlier with the 3 equals a ranch situation, but we'll see how he uses them. We'll judge it by ear. David now gonna have to do some advanced maneuvers with these villagers. Let's see where he goes with those. Might even abandon the town center. Oh man, the pressure is real, man. Looks like the entire attack is going to be turned to this left town center. Big investment for David. It has paid off somewhat in villager production, but that's a lot of units for red. Villagers all just evacuating before the army even gets here. Could say it's a good move. We'll see how it pays off. We'll see how it pans out. So the town center will go down. David just sacking that in order to keep his army and his units alive. I think HOMS knows now as well, as he's just taking these fights of one spearman at a time. And so far, we have blue on the back foot, but not quite out of the race. I mean, it's not even. Okay, the town center has gone down and the score has dropped, so it is 600 score difference. Not too crazy yet. Emergency palisade wall coming up for blue on that left side. And this main army of full feudal commitment. I can't wait to see more games from HOMS Senpai, because I love what we've seen so far in these two. It's been full, like, feudal age pressure and aggression the entire time. And that is the most entertaining part of Age for me. It's been really great to watch. Let's see if this ranch is able to pull off some more damage here. David with a good amount of archers. One spearman has found the wood line there, but I think these walls are at least blockages. They're at least blocking for now. What do we have? We have. Wait. I gotta look at the mini-map more. David is all over the place with these knights. 5 up here, 3 up here. That one goes down to the Juganu, and he just decides to call it. Okay. I mean, to be fair, I think it would have been very hard to come back from that. So GG to HOMS Senpai taking that win. Good game. Good games. Multiple very good feudal age games. Total unit count. There's just a really solid Jujinu full feudal play from red. Good game from both though. David did a pretty good job minimizing casualties and fighting back up until right at the end there, I would say. Not a complete lost cause for David or Klopp, I think. With a little bit of grinding, they could be contenders here for like the top 4 still.